I mean, those four on average have had the top three places for most of the Grand Prix this year. I mean, there's one, two, three, four, five other drivers that have had a top three place this year. So I think you'd be silly to I don't think Raikkonen's going to catch Webber, so I don't see the harm in letting Fisichella take the win. You've messed up your team for the last two races. Give the Italian fans what they want, an Italian driver in an Italian car winning the Italian Grand Prix.
For an Italian team.
Exactly, make up for having a crap driver for the last two races and doing nothing about it.
Yeah, I guess so. And there isn't much chance of Ferrari taking the championship this year. But let's see how Fisichella actually pulls out on the day, because I have my doubts. I think, like I said before, I think Raikkonen's a better driver, but it is kind of Fisichella's moment.
This is the thing at the moment. This is all like superficial, because for all we know, he could go to Monza, go into the first round of qualifying, have a crash or mess up in some way, and then it's not going to matter really.
There was one thing that I forgot to mention on the Belgium race. What was with Alonso and his damn tyres? Because that's what we couldn't remember. There was something wrong with his tyre.
That's right. That's why he went out.
Yeah, but it was the same in the previous race before that. He had a problem with his tyres as well. Two races lost to the same goddamn tyre. But do you know what actually happened there?
I mean, the first race that he did it, they just hadn't screwed it on properly, and it just came off. Last race, he got done in that accident in the first corner. He got clipped by Satil, and they said that it damaged the wheel nut. So once they took the nut off, it didn't go back on properly, and they sent him out. And it was like, well, this isn't safe. We better call him back in and get it taken off. And then they couldn't do anything about it, so they just retired him.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shame.
Same thing to do.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Out of that Belgian Grand Prix, who do you think was the racer of the day? Kind of deserved the award for the day?
I'm biased, I'm sorry. My opinion is biased to the fact that Fisichella was in a Force India. And, hooray for the underdog. Really. So my driver of the day is Fisichella for not letting Raikkonen get more than a second away from him.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he probably deserves that. I mean, that was some seriously awesome driving on his part. So we have encapsulated the Belgian Grand Prix. We've encapsulated a nice preview of the next. I think this is certainly the next race is going to be particularly interesting. The Monza circuit with Ferrari versus Brawn, the Imperial Death match of this year. Hopefully, it should be a good race. Although on such a circuit, I mean, it is a particularly bland circuit.
Well, do we just want to do a quick roundup of the rumours? At the moment, the biggest one going around is the fact that Renault's being investigated for two things. One which no one will mention at the moment, and the second is supposedly for asking Nelson Piquet to crash on purpose at last year's Singapore Grand Prix, which I'm not sure I believe, because, as I said pre-show, there's lots of things that could go wrong with that. One, you could potentially injure or kill your driver, and second, if he does it too late, you can't guarantee that the safety car's going to come out and your strategy's going to pay off. So I'm not sure if I believe that one, but apparently loads of drivers confronted Renault about it because they seem to think something dodgy's going on. What do you reckon?
Well, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if Renault pulling out something like that. I mean, they kind of have a history of being, doing things like this. I mean, what was it, last year or the year before they were accused of nicking Ferrari prints?
That was McLaren.
Oh, that was McLaren, was it?
There was rumour of some Renault involvement, but yeah, if they did, that's the stupidest thing they've ever done. And the rumour is that if they caught and found to have done it, then they will be expelled from Formula One completely, not just for the season. That's it, they'll be gone.
To be honest, I think they deserve it. I mean, like you said, it's very risky to begin with. I mean, you're asking a driver to crash in a potentially up to fatal accident, and then you're taking the risk that, like you said, if he crashes too light, then the safety car won't be out. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them as an act of of trying to win, but it's certainly a very unpractical and flawed way.
The sad thing is that I wouldn't put it past them either. But if I'd been Piquet in that situation, I'd have told them politely to sod off and continue driving, or depending on how his relationship with Briatore was at that point, I'd have tried and put Alonso out and then quit after the race if it was me.
Yeah, I mean, being asked to crash, that's worse than when drivers are asked to hold up and wait for somebody else to overtake them. I mean, it's a bit of a slap in the face. It puts the bureaucracy into Formula One, which I so much hate. It's about driving, right? It's about who's the better driver, who's got the most skill, and for the teams, it's about who's got the better car and who's got the better drivers. To be asked to do something like crash deliberately or put yourself out of a win deliberately is a massive sort of slap in the face that a team can deliver to any of its drivers, and I don't think it's very fair at all.
Neither do I. Anyway, moving on. Braun have now decided that they're going to take a shot at getting Rosberg to drive for them, and I'm thinking that means that Barrichello's going to go, because I don't see why, unless someone's putting an epic offer for Button that no one's talking about, you'd get rid of your potential championship winning driver. But this does mean that Rosberg is now linked with 6 teams for next year. He's linked with Braun now, McLaren. He was linked with Renault, I think, at one point. I can't remember the other 3. He's been linked with several teams, though, this season. And I can see why. Because he is quite good. He is quite a good driver and always has been. It's just, and no offence to Williams, but he's been stuck in a Williams since he got here. So I think it's about time he moved on. I'm just not sure where he's headed yet.
Yeah, I mean, Nico Rosberg is certainly a very good driver. He's been hitting a lot of wins this year. Well, a lot of points. And especially for the fact that he's stuck in a Williams. I mean, again, no disrespect to a Williams, but I mean, they're not one of the top teams this year. Tim, what do you think would be the most ultimate team ever? So you take a team and then add whatever drivers you'd like. Obviously not the dead or retired ones.
Okay, I reckon that if you took, let's see, we'll take a Braun, we'll put a Ferrari engine in it, and we'll have, who will we have? Oh, no, that's actually a no-brainer. We'll have Button and we'll have Vettel in it, thank you.
Button and Vettel. Now, you see, I would go McLaren with Button and Hamilton. British team, 2 British drivers. I mean, not only British drivers, but the best drivers probably just now in Formula One in a McLaren. And probably not a McLaren because they're being really good this year, but a McLaren just because it's an English team.
2 other things before we finish. Robert Kubica is reportedly going to possibly Renault because BMW is leaving at the end of the season, and Heidfeld is possibly gone back to Williams because Williams are losing Toyota power, and therefore that means they've got no reason to keep Nakajima. Pardon